Time now for your tropical update. Let's bring in our storm tracker, Jim Cantori. And Jim, there's finally stuff to talk about out there.
Oh, there is. Typically, if you look at an average August, you get about 25% of the hurricane season in that. And 4 named storms is what we've had so far. They're usually spread out over the month. So we've already had, here on this August 15th, an average August. All right. So you notice the E-named storm doesn't usually form until the 31st. And here we are sitting at the 15th. And we've already had, again, our E-named storm. But we have not had a hurricane yet. That usually happens on average by August 10th. And we have not had a hurricane in the Atlantic Basin. So let's take a look at what we got going on out there. And there is, as Kelly mentioned, plenty to talk about. Let's start out with Erin, and then we'll get to Invest 92L. So we're going to go out into the eastern Atlantic and through here because I've actually gotten more questions on that. And I think it's because it has a name. People are more interested in Erin because it actually has a name. It's an entity now that they can relate with. So remember that. The center of circulation right here. Notice starting to get a little on the convectionless side. All the thunderstorms are off to the southwest, and right at the present time anyway, they're not very deep. The challenges for Erin remain over this very dry part of the Atlantic. And therefore, one would surmise this is going to remain a weak system, and that's certainly a pretty good assumption. And here's the model suite, and once we get, again, out another 10 or 12 degrees longitude, we start to see quite a spread going on in these. And the H-WRF is what's interesting to me because it is the southern track of this, and I'll show you why. It certainly makes sense from what we see right now. And you'll notice even the Hurricane Center kind of taking this southern track, keeping this at all times below hurricane strength, minimal to medium size, a tropical storm at that. And so if you got dry air to go over, there's a pretty good argument that it won't develop. All right, and it'll probably stay in the lower side of the track. The steering would tend to be with the low-level steering, and that's going to be down to the south here. Great map from FSU here. Here's Erin right here, and what this shows us is with percentages and colors, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, all the way up to 100% of at any given point here. Notice it's in the 20% range that it has a chance, a 20% chance of impacting the United States, even at where it is, based on climatology, all the tracks that have been out there in the past, all the hurricanes and storms. So there's still certainly a shot. What I want you to pay attention to, though, is not so much Erin right now, but what's behind it, because sometimes systems like Erin can be the primers for what is to come off the African coast. In other words, kind of get all that dry air out of the way and get us more moisture content for the next system to come off with, and that may very well be happening. So here's Invest 92L, kind of a conglomeration, a mess here. And when you have an invest like this, I think it's very, very difficult to even surmise where it may go, because if you're the forecaster and you're trying to put a point down as to where you're going to initiate this, where do you put it? That's a big circle. It's a very big circle, and so you can just about put it anywhere in that. Right now, we don't see anything from satellite imagery or even radar, for that matter, that leads us to believe that we've got something. Interesting forecast from Windstream here, though. This kind of shows us in time through 10 o'clock tomorrow morning what the low-level wind may look like. And you'll notice a little counterclockwise spin here, and if that is, in fact, where 92L emerges off of, that's pretty low, and it may actually stay in a low track like this. But the takeaway for the Gulf Coast is, with or without 92L developing, there will be a lot of moisture coming into the Gulf Coast, and we will talk about that next hour.